so I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:05. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It feels like it's been a long time, but it's just been a month, but okay. So before we get started, I did want to mention that we have two correspondences. The first one was a thank you card from the staff for the snacks for April, and I'm sorry I don't have that with me, but I can bring it next meeting to share with you. The other one was an email from one of the trustees of the trust funds, and I'm wondering if we should just address that under finance, because it is stuff that the finance committee talked about. So we'll just get to that then, I guess. Unless people would like me to. Oh, you have the card.
Yeah,
because it was in with the PARs. Okay, so we can pass the card around. Unless people want me to deal with the email now, or is it any preference? No?
I think it goes under finance.
Seems appropriate. Okay, great. Okay, so May's action items. Review the library safety manual. I have not done anything on that. Has anybody had a chance to look at the safety manual? Okay. The finance committee needs to meet. We still have that on our agenda. Review updates from the town center committee. I'm not sure what that is.
It's just that I had no report last time.
Got it.
I will have a report for this one when we do the committees.
Okay, great. And then there says, wait for a quote from town hall in response to the RFP. Do you have anything on that for the chiller? We're working on the energy audit, right? Okay, so
Yes,
that will.
that is the update.
Okay, so we will talk about that under chiller in a moment. There was something else. I had sent out a lengthy email that mentioned the library book sale, looking for volunteers, but then also people might not have seen on the bottom. I was asking for dates for the summer. So if you know, perhaps. Yeah, because we need to schedule the meeting with Ann Warner for strategic planning. So if Karen and Mike, if you could email me the dates that you might be unavailable this summer, if you could send me an email.
I can only give you a vague.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
approximation.
fine. No, if you could just, if you have a vague idea, if you know for sure, like I'm going to be gone for sure on these dates, and then we'll try to set something up. So
What time? About?
July or August?
No, I mean like time of the day.
Oh, it would be in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. I think that for Sohini, that's probably always the better time. So, all right. So yeah, just if you're going to be out of town, just send me an email, and then we'll try to set something up. Okay. No news for SMP. The strategic plan, we are still looking for a date. So once I hear from you, I have the list of other dates. Yvette, you may have sent me something. I'm not sure if I know when you won't be available. Could you send me that's your dates also? The chiller. So do you want to talk about that now?
Sure. Okay. So this is in my director's report. I reached out to Eversource about an energy audit. This was something that Kyle Fox recommended that I do. Here at Town Hall, they've replaced their individual AC units and things that were on the roof or in the attic of the other side, the other building. So I have been in contact with someone named Margaret Dillon. She's an engineer, and the last communication that we had was she's submitting a proposal to Eversource to do an energy audit of the building. And that's the information that we can put in the RFP.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's free of charge to us.
That's free of charge. She's applying for a grant.
Great.
From Eversource.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. So we're moving forward in that process.
We're moving forward slowly, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think that I appreciate that we're doing it methodically, and we're actually gathering all the data, and we'll have information, and so we're making an educated effort to get a good RFP together.
This is just the outline of, it's the thing that says SEEDS, Sustainable Energy Education demonstration services.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Maintenance project quotes. It looks like there's a lot of things sort of bubbling about. Is there anything solid for us for maintenance project quotes?
The stairs,
Mhm.
I sent you a picture of the
Oh,
stairs.
Mhm.
Yes, I
So
like
that's
that.
something.
They were
Um,
good.
And did I read in your director's report that they're going to be sending you an updated quote for that?
No, that's the quote.
Oh,
The
okay.
quote you received, that would be it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you wanna-
I don't remember
decide on that?
seeing the quote. I just remember seeing
That was
the
another
picture.
month. It's the previous month.
Oh, okay. I think those are perfectly adequate stairs, railings.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
They look quite safe.
I'm just looking at the way in the minutes from last month that we moved some money around, and it could,
Yeah, it's down near the bottom of
Mhm.
the page.
so, do we have the money set aside for this, I guess is the question for that railing? I see that we have in the list of open POs, the restoration to the front step railings, but I don't know that we set,
No, no.
Okay.
This would be, things that are left. You know,
Mhm.
usually at this meeting, we talk about year-end expenditures and what's left, and you encumber things.
Mhm. So that would be the something that we could encumber
That
for a
would be
next.
something, I was just meeting with Joanne about this. And, in terms of maintenance projects, one of the things that she was more concerned about, and I probably would agree with her, because I think her talking about it really brought to mind that it's, the slate roof. Every time it rains, it's leaking.
Mhm.
So we had, in my report, you'll see that we had Scott Livernoy from Garland, who did the roof
Mhm.
restoration on the flat roof a couple of years ago. He came back and looked at the roof, took some pictures. He's sending pictures to, pictures and measurements to some vendors he knows who work with slate. The challenge with our projects always seems to be it's a small project.
Mhm.
You know, it's important to us and it's big to us, but in terms of the kinds of roofing projects that are out there in the world, it's small. But he had kind of given me a, like a market cost on it, which
Mhm.
was $130,000.
Yeah.
He's talking to another vendor who is a smaller business that might get it under that price, but that's really what we're looking for. Or that's what we're looking at. I think the decision that, you know, the board really still needs to make is, do you wanna stay with slate and replace slate for slate? Or do you wanna go with a slate-looking, product that would last longer? I mean, he also said he can, give us some ideas about a repair, so it would be, you know, the worst parts of the roof and repair those, so.
And what it said in your director's report was that one of the main issues is not the slate, but what's under the slate, and that
Mhm.
there's no way to know
No, I
what
mean,
the
it's,
cost will be, because
have to open it up.
it has to be opened up, and then we gotta do something.
Yeah. It's-
So,
It's never easy or simple, you know, I mean, we do have water coming in, basically in the teen area, along where the 1979 building comes up against the
Mhm.
wall in teen. And that's where we see the water, so you don't know where the water comes in, it's just running down somewhere. Yeah,
Does he also deal with the product that would be slate looking?
yes.
Could he give us an idea of what that might cost, or is that the 130 also? Is it the?
No, I can ask him more specific things that you want,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I'd like to know what it costs for the replacement one. I think that we are at the point with this building where if we just do a repair or we put the slate on, we are pushing the problem further down the road. I don't know that if we can make it architecturally pleasing and stick with sort of the overall same look, but get a product that's going to be a better investment in the future of the building, I just think my gut is that we have to look at an option other than slate. That's just, I don't know what other people's feelings are. Like,
Well, I mean, because slate is more expensive, I think if new slate and new underpinnings were put into place, the length of time would probably be similar. But it's a question of what the expense difference would be, really. So,
well, and especially if we don't know what we're going to get when we go under there, right? And let's
Right.
be honest, like, we need to make sure that is the part that gets really addressed, right? Whatever's on the top of it,
right.
okay, but the stuff that's underneath. So I would be curious to know what it costs for a looking like slate, but not slate, and what kind of, pardon me?
I'll let you finish.
Oh, and also what kind of warranty there is on both products. Like, what kind of warranty is there on slate, and what kind of warranty would there be on the other product that we would be using? And then also repairs, because we want to gather all our information. So we know that repairs would only be like a Band-Aid, but we also have a lot of other things on our agenda that need to be dealt with. So I think we have to have all the information before we can decide what the best route is.
Okay.
Mike, what did you want to say?
Is there any record of when the last time the roof was fixed?
The slate has never been fixed. It is 1925.
So it's just the underneath that's the problem, not the slate itself.
No, he sent me or I don't know if he sent me pictures, but I have seen pictures of close-ups of the slate. And
Oh, so it eroded?
it's chipped.
They're broken.
They're broken, yeah. I mean,
Oh.
it's like a tile that's, it's got it's broken.
Well, I imagine if we use the look-alike, no one's going to go on the roof to check.
Yeah, no, I think it would be, we need to see what the lookalike looks like, right? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. And I think that, people have a fondness for this building. It's not an architectural, it's not like a registered national or historical building, right? Because there's certain limitations once you get a building registered like that. It's just a practical building that's used all the time, right? So we want it to look nice. We want to maintain some of the design integrity of the original building, but we also have a responsibility to the voters to invest in something that's going to, and the taxpayers, that's going to last, and that's going to cause, not cause us to keep repairing and having leaks. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's gather our information, and we'll just add it to the list. Yeah. The elevator and the roof. I mean, the elevator is another one that is, those to me are, I know the roof is important. The elevator is also very important, too.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Okay. Yeah, if you could get that information for us, I think that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other questions that we have for Scott Garland for Yvette to take back to him? Okay. So what was Joanne was just wanted to raise that concern when we're thinking about what to do with extra money? Is that
yeah, because we were looking at the general ledger and estimating how much would be underspent, which lines might be over, which lines might be under, which POs, aren't reflected as having been changed, and there was money that was moved, and she's communicated with Tom, and it doesn't come up in the spreadsheet they send us. And she's not quite sure why, but, she was estimating we're kind of jumping around here on the agenda, but.
it's all in the
That's
same
what we were
thing.
talking
But
about.
we're talking about maintenance quotes, and if we want to look at the maintenance quotes, we have to know what we have for funding. That's
Yeah, we still have, we're on June 21st. So we still have invoices for this year that are coming in and are gonna come in next month.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't usually close everything, POs that are here, we'd want to keep materials open because those are still gonna be paid off, bills that we haven't received yet. But if we have you know, money in the personnel line, which is what she's estimating, then it would be, you know, can we encumber that just 2 buildings? And then it's there for when you make a decision on,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
which building project do we wanna,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
spend some money on. It might be $50,000, you know, it's
Mhm.
not gonna be a lot to cover the entire project of any
Mhm.
of these, but.
Mhm.
And then I don't know what you think about in terms of, you know, how to go to the town council and ask for money that's been in the capital reserve.
Yeah, we still have,
That's the other,
they require quotes.
okay, so like hard quotes.
Yeah, which we were still waiting from the elevator also, that we
Yep.
needed like a hard quote. So I think that, you know, we really need to have an opportunity to say, here are the
Mhm.
ones where our priorities, here's how much they're gonna cost, how are we gonna address this? But, the idea that any extra funding goes into buildings, I think is what has to happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
there's not a
agree.
lot of flexibility this year.
Yeah.
You know, in years past, there's been some, what are
Yeah.
these projects that we've been dying to do that we can't? I think that that's the main need, right, is
Mhm.
the building.
Yeah.
That's the,
Yeah. I agree that the elevator is really important as well.
I think everything is important.
The
Yeah.
roof
I
is
think about
important,
the chiller and,
elevator,
I mean,
the
cooling
chiller.
and heating
Yeah.
for staff and patrons. I mean, and we've been doing Band-Aids for that for years, so.
I think the good/bad news or reality of that one is that that's going to take a little bit longer to process because we want to
Sure.
get the survey done. We do the RFP. You know, there's going to be some steps in that. If the elevator, God forbid, like breaks and we can't like repair, those are things that we need to be thinking about. The roof, yes, we have a leak. We don't want it to keep going, but if we don't have an elevator, we really aren't a functioning building. You know, so I think that's just going to be a subject for discussion and maybe something. I saw that you have a trustee retreat, and maybe we'll have one when we get quotes and kind of think about where we're going with this. But okay, so we're moving forward. We know what we need to do. We want the money. You know, once you know what we have, I guess we'll make a motion at some point to.
Yeah, because we'll need that in the minutes.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
okay.
But nothing now.
Can you refresh our memory what the price of the cost for the railing was for
No,
that quote?
I can't, because I
Okay.
didn't bring that
Okay, that's
I
fair
can
enough.
find
shredded
Yeah.
paper. Of course you can.
I can. I can, because it's still
It's
in
on your
my,
laptop, yeah.
yeah, it's right here somewhere. I got the carpet. There it is.
Okay.
Oh, no, those are the examples. Actually, it still might be in this. No, those are the examples. Project list.
I kind of think this is the style of the railing in the north stairwell.
It
Uh-huh.
looks
Clump
familiar.
Okay. I don't really pay attention to it, but.
Well, right, why would you? It's a railing. You don't notice it.
I
But then
just
when you
need
have to
to-
replace it,
right,
you're
right.
like, there's so many different types of railings. What are we going to do?
Simple.
No, we want the railings. There it is. All right, I keep getting the pictures. What else was it called? Was it last month or the month before?
No, I think it was at least 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have something about March,
Okay, March.
maybe.
Um,
Oh, maybe.
was it
that-
was Jen Stover? That would be April. So was it March?
I don't know.
Fire panel, maybe? No, that's all fire panel.
Okay, well,
I'll look.
all right. So since we are talking about the maintenance project quotes and it's top of mind, I am going to make a motion that we authorize Yvette to take any surplus funds and put it into the line building. Is it just buildings? Create a PO for
hang
buildings.
Yeah. 8502.
So you would create a purchase order to build under buildings for the surplus funds.
Yeah.
Okay. A second.
put this together in something
So-
I can.
Yep, so I made a motion that we authorize Yvette to take any surplus funds from this fiscal year and to create a purchase order that would,
Authorize Yvette to take surplus.
mhm.
You wanna maybe say encumber?
Oh, thank you, that is the correct word, to encumber surplus funds,
To
encumber.
encumber surplus funds from 8502, is that, what was
And that's what
8502?
it's going into.
Yep.
28502.
To encumber funds,
To encumber funds,
in a PO under line 85,
15-8502.
15-8502.
okay, say it again, in a PO,
Yep, a PO, under line, 15-8502.
02.
I second.
Okay. Any further discussion? So this is a common practice that additional surplus funds we are allowed to encumber.
Any additional?
Yep, so this is what we do at the end of the fiscal year, just for people to know, so.
Is there any idea how much that is?
Just a really rough idea, because we
Because they
still,
still have,
yeah, because of what's still out. So, I mean, we won't, we can send this information to Tom and say, this is what the board would like to do.
That's their intention, we've already voted on it, yes.
As
Yep.
they get closer to the day,
Mhm.
you know, so.
Okay, great. Mike, do you have any questions about that? Okay.
I'm ready.
All in favor? Okay, 400. All right, I think this is good that we know what we're doing with it, even though, you know, that we're gonna put it, that money aside. We will decide exactly what our priorities are and how we're gonna allocate it. But these are, you know, building projects and we are gonna need to do them, so.
Okay.
Janet,
$16,018
okay,
is for the railing.
okay.
And what date was that you found it?
This is in the March,
Okay, I can follow up with them.
it's in the 315.
Indoor railings are 16,000,
18.
Eight.
18.
oh, 18, oh,
16018.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that's a lot of old business, but there we are, that we're done.
That's
Okay.
great.
New business, policy review, staff safety procedure manual. This is really something that the staff uses. If we're not, it's not a policy per se, we're just,
I mean, you can review the manual so that you know what we cover. And really what's more important is the statement on the first page that is the trustees and me as staff's commitment to provide this document
mhm.
and make sure they have procedures to follow. So that's
Okay.
really, you're looking at the statement that you want to agree with.
Okay. Does anyone have would you like us to talk about that right now? Is this something?
I mean, that's up to you. How comfortable are you with the procedures we have in place? Are you comfortable with that enough to say, yes, I'm okay with the statement?
Mhm. I'll be honest, I have not had a chance to review it in any detail.
I can't imagine you would. End of the year. Super busy.
Yeah.
I think I did, but I don't.
That's something that could go on the retreat, isn't it?
It's
Or
up
do you
to
need
you.
it-
That's up to you.
Does it have a timeline?
It's a working document that we live with, so it hasn't been reviewed in a couple of years.
Yeah,
It's just
so
one of
it
those
should
things.
be, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna,
Well, it's not necessarily something we need to review. We're essentially reviewing that statement. That's what she's asking us to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily the whole. Is it the
No,
whole-
because
no,
the
yeah.
procedures are our procedures, but
Right.
if you're
Yeah.
curious about any of them or concerned about any of them,
Mhm.
then you have them, so you
Yep.
know
Right.
what the statement is backing up.
Yeah. I read this. I don't remember having any issues with it.
No, I mean, I have to agree to it as well, and I don't have any issues. It's
Mm.
just, of course, we're gonna provide our
Right.
staff
Right,
with,
right.
you know, the means so they know how to report an accident or,
Right.
Mhm.
clean up a vomit. I mean, there's things like that in it,
Sure,
so,
sure.
and I think it's a pretty good procedure where, you know, we have a safety committee, and they meet regularly to review incident reports and talk about issues, questions that come up. And I put it in my director's report that, Hillstown, that meets on the first Friday of the month, when we were going over our topics in like December, one of the topics was safety, that, you know, it comes up because it's like, well, I don't know what to do if this happens, you know. So the other libraries really didn't have a safety program in place, and so I said, you know, we have one. And I had Joanne join the meeting this month to do a presentation on it and answer questions, and I uploaded all of our documents and the manual and things to the Dropbox that we share, and they were really happy. You know, the other
Mhm.
librarians were like, this is great,
Yeah.
you know, so.
That's great.
So anyway, that was a
Okay.
nice practical.
Would people like another month to look at the statement,
Yes,
or?
please.
Okay. So, an action item, we will vote on the statement. Notice I said not look at, we were actually gonna vote on the statement in July, so we will. Okay. Anything else before we move on to the general ledger, Yvette? No?
it's up to you.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if you had anything for staff safety that you wanted to share with us. Okay, anything more? So fiscal year 2021-22 budget, general ledger, invoiced, manifest, and open POs.
I didn't have anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just, you know, again, meeting with Joanne earlier today. We just had a new PO that isn't showing up on this report right now because it was today. We put in for new work on the fire panel. The
Mhm.
fire panel has been sending phantom
Right.
alarms to dispatch, so we've had workers come in for that.
Question, is that not under warranty? Like, why would we need to pay them to come in for a fire panel they just installed?
I don't know, I just approve POs. That's a great question.
I mean, they just installed it. It should not. it-
Literally just.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
2 weeks.
I
I'll
feel
find
like,
out, 'cause
yeah,
that's a
I
good
feel like that's
question.
not something we should have to pay for, because if the new fire panel isn't working properly, it's gotta be under some sort of warranty. And if it's a problem with the wiring or communications, well, that would've been nice to know beforehand, so if that can be something that we can,
Huh.
Okay.
alrighty. Year-end expenditures, we already talked about that, I think. Is there anything else?
Yes.
But, okay.
Question about the general ledger.
Mhm.
We have in the computer services line, 8353, there is 3613, $3,613 that we can spend towards replacing the laptops that the patrons check out and use in the building. That's the only thing that the staff came up with as a year-end item. Because I've told them for months now, really, everything left over is gonna go to the building. But that was the one thing
Mhm.
that, we have enough in the line as far as Joanne and I know. If we end up, if you would rather put this towards building, then we could always resubmit a request to you for spending passport funds and not using this money. So, but that would be the only other thing.
Mhm.
The computers that are new are
These are different.
desktop computers, they're not
Yes.
on-loan computers.
Right. Right. These would be the laptops that some people like to check out and sit somewhere else and use.
These are already in the computer line.
Are they?
That's what I'm at. Well,
I don't know. I'd have to look at a different, more detailed budget that I didn't bring with me.
I mean, I don't have any strong feelings about this
Okay.
either way, honestly. I guess it's just a matter of, is it more practical to use passport money or something like that? And because we can't use that towards building things, but this
Yes,
we
we can.
could. Oh, you could? Okay, then never mind. So,
All right.
okay,
I would,
So,
just do
I'm
it.
gonna make a
Okay.
motion to use that towards passport money. It's already in,
Use it towards laptops?
towards laptops. I would
Okay.
say.
Passport money.
Yeah, no. That would be funny.
No, we're gonna use this 3613
okay.
50 to purchase laptops.
Laptops.
3613
50
50.
towards the purchase of laptops, circulating laptops.
What line is that coming out of?
It's the same line, 8353.
Purchase.
Yeah, so in reality, thank you for bringing that to
Yes.
attention, but we,
It's just letting you know that
yeah, exactly.
it's
I mean,
probably not gonna be encumbered
Right.
Right, okay.
anything differently than
It's
just
they're
computers.
spending
It's
it
just
a different way, but it's the same line.
Okay. All right, but you're still just letting them know since it's the end of year and we
Yeah.
have it in
Yeah.
minutes that it was approved. So I will second that motion. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Trustee retreat. Yeah, we're gonna have one. Let's get those dates from people and it may be that we decide to do one in September. As I think we did that a couple of years ago and that
Yeah.
seemed like a good time. We still do need,
Some years we actually did it on Saturday mornings.
yes, which I think was a good time. And, you know, that might even be a good time to meet with
For-
Ann Warner too for the strategic planning. But I just give me your dates of when you're available and I'll go by her. When you're not available, Okay.
How far out do you want us to go? I mean, like,
I know you gave me June and July,
Yeah.
maybe August too. You know,
fine.
yeah. June is pretty much over, so July. Okay. Yep. Okay. I think that's all there really is under old. Yes.
Okay, we talked about that under, I'm getting confused because we're flipping.
We are.
And
So many things are like overlapping between the end of the year budget and the maintenance expenses and that sort of thing.
what about, okay, send the dates of summer availability, that's way back. and-
Yep. Yeah, but I'm just looking at here at the trustee retreat.
Oh, okay.
So we want the dates of that you're not available to set up something with Ann Warner for strategic planning, but then we'll also have the trustee retreat on our horizon too.
So actually, you're gonna combine these dates so that
And
you'll
just kinda
know
see
and-
what's-
And see
Yep.
for Ann Warner.
Yep, I have some of the dates already, so.
And for retreat,
Mhm.
okay.
Great. Okay, director's report.
Okay, so we received a donation of $125 from Michael Bruin to purchase a library pass to Garden in the Woods. Michael had recommended the pass, and Alyssa reviewed it as the staff person who oversees this collection, and she'd love to add it to our collection.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll make a motion that we accept the donation of $125 for the purchase of a library pass to Garden in the Woods from Michael Druin.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, great.
Okay, and we received a donation of a 1,000-piece puzzle from resident Ann Doris titled All You Knit Is Love. Jen Stovall would like to add this to the Library of Things collection. And since it's a donation, I would ask you to vote to accept it.
Okay, I will make a motion that we accept the donation of the 1,000-piece puzzle, All You Knit Is Love, from Ann Doris. Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Great, 400.
Okay, we received several donations from the Friends of the Merrimack Public Library. $450 for the Adult Summer Reading Prizes, $659 for Summer Reading Kickoff Concert, which is actually tomorrow, made out to Bartlett Productions, $200 donation for Youth Summer Reading Prizes, and $300 donation for Q3 discretionary funds.
I will make a motion that we accept the very generous donations from the Friends of the Public Library.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? 400. Thank you very much.
Let's see. The open circulation positions are posted on our website under employment. I've already mentioned, oh no, I haven't. So Tom Boland sent the CIP
Mhm.
request, which I forwarded to you in your packets.
Mhm.
That is due July 22nd.
If I remember correctly, you just filled out forms for each one of those
I
things.
do, and this is where, we need to fill in the more specific quote
Mm-hmm.
rather than, placeholders and
Mm-hmm.
$100,000.
Well, we can now fill in 130,000,
Yeah, we can.
and we can fill in what an elevator
Right.
is. Even if it's not an exact quote, it gives them an idea of what this will cost. So that would be great. And that has to be to him prior to our
Mhm.
next meeting, I
Mm.
think.
July 22nd.
Yeah, because you're meeting
Mm-hmm.
on the 21st. Well, right before, right after.
Okay. So you can just apprise us of how it is on the 21st, and you'll still get it in plenty of time to him. And just so for the record, and so everybody knows, I did send you a copy of the report, the update regarding the building projects that Yvette submitted to Paul McCallie for the town council for their retreat, which sort of outlined all of these different things that were ongoing. So I don't think anything that we add to the capital improvement plan is going to come as a surprise. So we did give them that narrative, and
Mhm.
hopefully people had a chance to look at that.
Okay.
All right, do you mind doing that, and then we'll
No,
just
I'll
perfect.
just- I usually send you copies of what
Yeah,
I've done.
I
and
mean
all
that's
this.
what I was.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
memory was saying. Okay.
I don't think there's any new ones either.
No, it's everything we've been doing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but we'll just
That's
have
why
more
I'm just like, but
specific
forever.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm just, like,
No.
in my head, when I went through it, I was like,
Mhm.
are there any others that I'm not remembering?
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So,
I'm trying to see if there's anything else I highlighted. I did send you a copy of the NHLA Advocacy and Legislative Committee report from the last meeting we had this month. Just to let you know what's happening and what we're looking at in legislation. And
Mhm.
you would probably get these same kind of reports from the NHLTA because we're both watching the same thing.
Mhm.
I actually have something for you. You
Yeah.
mentioned under administration
Mhm.
that while cleaning out periodical storage, Joanne found 10 to 12 VHS tapes of
Yeah.
recorded
Yeah.
Library Board of Trustee meetings from 2005. What would we like to do with that? Excuse me. I'm going to make a motion that we dispose of them because I looked up the New Hampshire Municipal Association says that we do not need to keep recordings because the minutes form the permanent record of the meeting of the body, and that will be the version that ultimately ends up as the written word on paper. And it says here, and I underlined, there is no legal requirement that the sound or video images of any public meeting be recorded or the recordings be preserved.
Okay.
So unless somebody would like to keep those, we are not legally obligated to do that as long as we have the minutes, and minutes, I believe, have to stay for 10 years. I'm sorry, that's not correct. It requires any record which is to be retained for more than 10 years be transferred to paper, microfilm, or both. So as long as our records are in minutes, we are fine.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Which
So-
would be, there are old minutes and packets in,
Yeah.
I
So-
have paper that's minutes,
Mm-hmm.
half as tall as I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and I also have everything
Mhm.
on here.
So based on what the NHMA, there was a whole section on legal question and answer of meeting minutes and machines, which was very interesting reading, believe it or not. So it's really, it is
Sounds
like the right to know and what they do.
Yeah.
So anyways, they said that we are not legally required to do that. So I'm going to make a motion that we dispose of those tapes.
And I will second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? 400, so they can go.
Yay.
I was just happy to have an answer to that question. So, yeah.
That's a good one.
We weren't the only ones who I'm sure have encountered that, so. Okay.
You know, in addition to the NHLA report, one of the NHLA board, and it was probably copied on the NHLTA, I don't quite remember. There's a movement in the United States, but in New Hampshire as well. We think it's connected to a national movement to protest if a library or even another department in a town or an organization in a town is presenting drag queen story time or drag queen other kinds of programs with drag queens as a presenter. So just to let you know, that's something that people are complaining about. We haven't received any complaints locally. We're not doing any kind of drag queen programs. We have wonderful staff that are plenty busy doing story times and things. But we did on the NHLA board receive a complaint from a resident in another town just saying, can you as the NHLA tell all the libraries they should not do this?
No.
And you actually can.
No, we
can't.
cannot tell them that. We can, despite, no matter
Yeah.
what your
The board
viewpoint
can't,
is, you,
and
right,
it's
you
really,
can't.
that's up to the determination of each trustee board for
Yep.
each town library.
Exactly,
So
right.
we said, no, we actually can't, sorry.
Right, it's outside your
It's way
authority or
outside.
agency, yeah.
Outside. So, yep, just, so if you hear things, it's Pride Month, which is June, and that's when we get a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of press and activity about that.
Have you heard anything about us being closed on Juneteenth?
No,
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything.
my friends in New York were surprised that I had to work on Juneteenth because everything
Oh,
was closed there.
yeah.
So they were like, yeah, no, everything's closed. It's a federal holiday. Why are you working? I'm like, yeah, okay. So I think that we are a little ahead of the curve, but that's the.
We are a little
way
ahead of
the
the
trend's
curve.
going.
Only 3 of the GMELC's libraries were closed. So
Mhm.
they still, when we still had van deliveries, so the individual libraries that were closed had to call and say, we're gonna cancel our delivery for today, don't stop by our library.
Mhm.
But it was only 3 out of
Okay.
13, I guess, 12. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, thank you. Is there anything else in your report that you'd like to
I
highlight?
got a really adorable couple of thank you cards.
Yes, they were
I
so.
sent you a scan of
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, that was really cute.
Those
Really
are so
cute.
That was
I
really
just
cute.
love it. Yay. And I got another one in the mail that just written.
That's
What does it say?
lovely.
Let me see.
It's from a little girl named Marianne. I'm 5 years old and will be going to kindergarten next year. I go to story time and love it to the moon and back.
Ah.
I loved reading the books about librarians.
Mhm.
I want to be a cook when I grow up like my mom.
Oh,
So,
that's
I mean, these
wonderful.
things are lovely when you kind
That's so nice.
Those are cute.
So, if you want to see my wonderful fan mail. But I think it's just, we have wonderful staff, and they really touch these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just love this.
I love
Yeah.
it. Pass it,
Please,
pass
please,
it
please,
along
pass
to
it
the
al-
police
please,
in the
please,
library. Yes,
I know.
please, please, please.
The deep, yes.
Yeah.
With exclamation points.
we had all of the first grade classes visit the library in the past couple of weeks, and Kathy and her
That's so
staff
cute.
were bringing them down to the clump room and giving them a little kind of trivia quiz about the library. And I was going downstairs, and I passed a class and a teacher, and the teacher all of a sudden goes, oh, "It's her! She's in our trivia." And I have not seen this picture, but apparently there's a picture of me in the trivia quiz
funny.
of who's the library director.
Oh,
and
yeah. So like community helpers, that's like a
Something
big
like
unit.
that.
Yeah, yeah, first or second
But
grade. Yeah,
the
that's
grown-up
great.
was very excited. I think the kids were kind of like, let's go.
That's
Let's go.
great.
Yeah, very nice.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. I just do want to mention that under your director's goals, the other avenues to reach more of the Merrimack community, I just love that there's some different ideas floating around out there and
Yeah.
yeah.
Just tracking
great.
them so far.
Yeah,
that's
no,
good.
that's
But
great.
they're thinking.
Um,
It's fantastic.
I want to throw this out there because I saw it on the town council. That was on their retreat.
What?
Was how to reach the town.
Oh, interesting.
So
Mhm.
I don't know where it went. I just know I saw it on their retreat and I went. I'm like, yep. I'm like,
Yeah,
we're
I
in the
think
same
you
boat.
wanna see?
Yeah, I think it's just the decentralization. There's no newspaper record. You know, it's harder to reach everybody. I
Yeah.
think so. No, I like seeing that very much. So, okay,
Wait, what's this?
that was the card from the staff thanking us for snacks.
Okay.
All right, treasurer's report.
Just closing all my tabs. Open.
Okay, well, wait, let me get this going here.
Treasurer's report.
What did you say?
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, I just have
Mumbled.
to
Sorry.
get ready for the numbers.
Is your mic on? That's what
It
really
is.
matters. Okay.
My mic is on. So the fines, we started with $7,260, $86.98. So 72.86 and 98 cents.
Wait,
Did I say 92? 72.86.98.
gotcha.
And we ended with $5,849.71.
Hmm.
And then with special, we started with $41,461.32. And we ended with $42,659.24.
42,600
59,
and
24.
thank you.
Anything else?
Not unless we're moving on to.
Nope.
Pardon me.
Acceptance of minutes is next. So we have actually 3 minutes to accept. We have the May 17th public meeting minutes. Is there any changes, corrections, additions to that?
This is the May 17th.
Public, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have anything.
The only thing for the May 17th was, did I remember to correct the month for the beginning action items? Did I remember to do that? That's, and I couldn't
Nope, it says
remember-
April's action items. It's all good.
Okay, good,
Yep.
I did.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the May 17th minutes. You were not here, right? So, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Against? I'm sorry, I should say opposed. Abstaining? Okay, so 301. And then we also had non-public meeting minutes from that same day.
Yep.
And I will make a motion that we accept the non-public meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? 3. Okay. Opposed and abstaining. And then we also have our February minutes because it was just you, me, and Janet. So we have put off voting on that because we wanted to make sure that people felt that you needed to be here for the February minutes. So
What date was that?
was it the 20th or was it the 15th perhaps?
It was February's.
Yes.
I've got it here. Here's March.
I'm just looking at the calendar. That would tell me. It must have been February 15th. Yep, I was looking at them earlier today.
March
It was February, though.
15th. I have to tell you that I am totally,
No worries.
I'll find it.
You were not here, so you don't
You
have
didn't
to
do
worry.
them.
I did them. Well, actually, Mike did them, but then we had to fill in some details, so.
Oh, I
yeah.
got it, okay.
Yep, 'cause we had some
Now I-
motions that passed, so.
Now I remember.
Okay. All right, so,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for February 15th.
okay, I'll second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Oh, you can't vote because you weren't here, so it'll be 3-0.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, 3-0-1. If you'd like to abstain.
Yes, I'm
Or
abstaining.
you can, well, I don't even know if you could be opposed since you weren't here, so we'll just have you abstain. So 3-0-1. Okay,
I
so
don't
that's.
feel strongly enough.
Fine,
Okay.
okay. All right, so that's done. Okay, committee updates.
Okay.
All right, Building Exploratory Committee, nothing to report. The Friends of the Library had a wonderful, wonderful book sale. It was successful. It was fantastic. People were so happy. I want to make sure we thank the Friends for all that they did and your staff. Thanks to the library staff for all of the work they did setting up and helping out. It was great. It was a really, really nice community event. So,
There were so many people.
oh, it was
And
great.
they were, everyone who walked out was like, I'm so glad you're doing this.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement about it. So that was the big news. I did attend their meeting on May 23rd, and there were some different staff requests that the staff was looking at some different programs that they might want to pursue. So that will be exciting to see how that evolves. I think that was really the only thing. At the annual meeting, which was held before the book sale, we have a new member on the board, a new secretary, Michelle Nover, so that's wonderful. Victoria is still our president and Danielle's the treasurer, so yes, and thank you to Jonathan Kauser for all of his work as the former secretary, so we appreciate that. So I'm looking at you, but you can just pass it
I'll
along.
pass it along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's really all for the Friends right now that I had. Did I forget anything? Yeah, so that was great. The Development Fund also met. The Development Fund met, let's see, on May 18th. And I updated them on all the different things that were going on with the building. And there was some discussion led by Mr. Disco about the bylaws, that there's some, just wanting to maybe clarify some things of the Development Fund bylaws. There was some discussion about, they had things like members and board of directors and just sort of clarifying what those are. So that is, I think, something that they're going to look at. Yeah, the bylaws were originally done in 1996, so they're thinking that they might need to be reviewed and just clarified, like what the structure of the organization is. So, and their next meeting is tentatively scheduled for September 21st. They said it was September 21st, but I know how things are when you're trying to get a large group together, so that's why I'm just using tentatively. So they are another wonderful group. We are very lucky to have so many dedicated volunteers. So, okay, Town Center Committee.
Okay, so as I was saying last month, there were a lot of items that had been stalled between state and federal funding and so on, and all of a sudden, funds started to come available, so things got busy. So, the Woodbury Street sidewalks are now done. The Sauhegan River Trail had the historical committee for the state has finished studying wetlands that the Sauhegan River Trail would go over, and there is a boardwalk and now that has been authorized so that people will not damage wetlands on the trail, and it is now going back to the Department of finally to completion within a reasonable amount of time. The high school master plan has also been in preliminary laying out and what the campus will look like. Maybe spring completion, let's see. The Facebook page for the town center committee is going to be looking for volunteers. There's going to be an overview of the town center and discussions about how the road flow, the traffic flow is going to be reorganized. That is being addressed. So I think that's about it. Nothing specific about the library as of yet. We haven't quite gotten to actual mapping of what the town center would look like, but it's going to be mapped very soon. Actually, I have a meeting on Friday, so
Great.
that
Okay.
will be good.
Thank you. Any questions for Karen?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Karen.
Oh, one more thing was
Sure.
the July 4th
Oh, yeah.
pancake breakfast is going to be, there'll be a new map then in July. So it's gonna be pretty soon where new maps are gonna come out about what the town center is and what some plans, some projects are.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I don't believe the Personnel Committee has met. I said I would address the correspondence from the trustee of the trust fund, Pat Heinrich, under Finance Committee, which is now. So Mrs. Heinrich sent us an email, and one of the things that she stated was that, or was concerned about, was that statute says that trustees of the trust fund. Now let's back up and just give some context. So we have certain trusts that the trustees of the trust fund manage for us. How many trusts do we have that we manage? Just one. So all of the other ones are managed by the trustees of the trust fund. So the statute says that trustees of the trust fund shall, that's in capitals, give library trustees all of the income from the trust funds. So it is the statutory duty of the trustees of trust funds to give the funds to the library trustees. And it is the statutory duty of the library trustees to manage and or spend the income. So it is my understanding that we have access to that income should we want it, but that we don't always need it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So how does this process work normally?
So when we as a board decide that we want to use trust fund money, we vote on it and we send a request to the trustees of the trust fund, and they, at their next meeting, present the request and they get us a check.
And if we do not take the income, what happens to it?
It's still invested.
Okay.
And it grows.
So, and that is all okay. That is
That
what
is
we,
all okay.
okay. Is there,
Yeah, I
Yes.
think how I read that, because she's highlighting the word shall, before you really became treasurer, the director of the library used to get an email from Chris Christensen saying, in June, it was now, saying, you have this much money in this fund. Can you write me an email to request it? And I think you did that for a little while when we kind of traded off.
Yep.
So that's what I was wondering, is why she was emphasizing the word shall, because we asked for it. When I think what she's saying is we should have had to email it that way at the end.
Right. So the trustees of the trust fund require basically just a notice that says
Yeah.
for their own auditing, and then
and it doesn't have to be in June. It can be at
it
any
can be
point.
anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it always was
Right, but I mean,
And that's
but,
because of.
And I would get an email saying, you need to write me an email.
Uh,
I was like,
Right.
okay.
And exactly, he does that to me.
this makes it sound like we are required to take it, but you're saying
We're
that we do not. Okay.
And I spoke with, or had an email exchange with Terry Knowles about it several years ago, because I wanted to make sure, did we have to take it or not take it? And her response was, if the library trustees and the trustees of the trust fund enter into an agreement that the income from the library trust do not have to be distributed to the library every year is okay. And yes, in that case, the income would remain with the trust fund, the trustees of the trust fund, until such time that we need it.
Okay. So the other concern was that the library trustees investing this income, we don't invest the income. If we take income from the trustees of the trust fund, it is to use it to purchase something. So that is not the way things work. The only thing that we invest is the trust that yours,
That's ours,
that is
yeah.
ours, that is with Fidelity right now,
Yeah.
in which we've made some changes that have been really positive. So, okay. So I really appreciate Pat's concerns. So I just wanted to make sure that we were all aware of this communication and that we were addressing them. There were a couple of other quick things too that I wanted to make sure we knew about. She was mentioning that the trustees of the trust fund did not have anything about the Quimby Trust. Is there a copy of the document? I would think
No.
that they would have had a copy of that.
We can send them another.
We'll send them another one. And then also there was a question in the email about when the library roof capital reserve fund became the library construction capital reserve fund. But I did receive an email that sounds like Tom Boland helped Pat and they were able to find that. So, okay.
That was the flat roof that we repaired several years ago.
Well, I think that what happened was they probably started a capital reserve fund with the intention of using the money for a roof, and then it became clear that there's more than just the roof that would need it. So I'm sure that somebody actually was looking out for the library and decided that a bigger, broader capital reserve fund would be a more appropriate use of that. So I think those were just the ones that I wanted to bring to your attention, just so you know that we received that correspondence. We heard her concerns and we took them seriously and addressed them. So, okay.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Have you done this already, or do you want to do this to make an agreement? Because it said, you said that, what
Yep.
Terry said.
Yep.
Do you need to write down an agreement?
We probably should,
Okay.
yes. We can have it, instead of it just being a verbal agreement,
Mhm.
yes.
Well, and that might also take care of the possibility of a future trustee of the trust fund
Sure.
wondering what the
Yeah.
arrangement is. So Janet, is that something you can ask Chris Christensen about? He's the
He's the chair.
chair. You could talk
Yeah.
to him about? Okay. Thank you.
So the first point was that we were not required to take funds
Mm-hmm.
on a yearly basis. It's
Right.
as needed. And the second point was that we do not ever invest
Right.
those funds, that we only ask for them when we have a specific
Exactly.
expenditure that we
Yep.
want to make.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not taking that income to invest it some other way. We're taking the income and spending it. That's why we have them managing the investment portion. So,
Though, the other kicker of that is it does have to be in our budget. Just as an FYI to you guys.
Okay.
But that usually is the $3,500 that's at the bottom. That,
Mhm.
for a long time, we were wondering,
Right.
was
What
it
a- yeah.
trust fund?
Yeah.
Or was
Right.
this library
Yep,
trustee
Yep, and
money?
where do we
Yeah,
put it?
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember.
So.
well, it is income that
Right.
we're taking
Sure.
it. So,
And as, from the trustees of the trust fund manage the money, but when we take it, we have to follow the letter of the will /
Mhm.
trust. If the will / trust said we need to take it annually, then we have to take it, which none of these did.
Right.
And when we do take it, we just have to follow where it's spent. Like, that's why it's been divvied up between the children's room and adult fiction and all the different places,
Okay.
because it has to be spent how the will was written, so. And that's, falls to her.
Okay.
Falls
I'm
to
gonna
you.
make- I'm gonna make that motion
yeah.
you.
Okay.
We just approve it and she spends it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, review June action items. So we have a couple of things. Right off the bat, we just said Janet is going to talk to the chair of the trustee of trust funds about
Yeah.
just writing up the agreement, so it's, just documented. And then also sending them another
Yeah.
copy of the Quimby Trust. Karen,
Wait,
Do you want me to do that? Because I think they said in an envelope.
Oh,
I think that Mrs. Heinrich did say to send it to her via Tom Boland, so,
I
but,
can put one in, I can walk one over.
Okay.
If it's
Okay.
easier for you.
all right, so Yvette
Okay.
will take care of that.
good,
Great.
because I was gonna ask you, Peter.
Hmm. And then everybody's going to send me their dates that they are not available for the summer.
Oh, yeah.
okay. I know.
Let's see, what are
It's
some
hard to
other
read it.
things? We're still waiting on a number of different quotes. So Yvette is going to get us some further information about the roof. And Yvette will encumber the surplus funds under building, which we voted on. I think that's really all we had. Was there anything else?
Yeah, those are all the ones I had.
Mhm. We do have a non-public session attached to this meeting for a quick question about
I,
personnel.
What was the second thing that, just, wait, don't go ahead, 'cause
Roof, the roof?
Yeah, get info for the roof
Yep,
costs.
yep.
And what was the second thing?
That people are gonna send me their dates when they are
No,
not.
no, no, there was another thing
She's
for
gonna send
Yvette.
she's gonna bring over the Quimby Trust document.
hard copy.
And I'm sorry, Yvette, what was the other thing that you wanted to address?
I just have an answer for Janet for your trust funds sheet.
Oh.
This, that she sent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the 13145 is 4 different in fund, that's Watson.
So just for anybody who's listening, so these are the trust funds
Those
that the trustee of trust funds hold for us, yeah?
Right, so it's materials and, then there was another one that was 17, I think you asked about. Which is also Watson money.
Oh, yes. Both of those were what? So both of them are Watson?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jen put it in Polaris, under MMKT 104 Children's, which is just trustee money, but it's, I can go back and ask her for a detail on that of
Okay,
how she's putting things in Polaris.
okay.
Is it Watson? And, Carol, does she have it written out that way, or just all of the trustee money that we allot to it? Does it all just fall under T? Because
Okay.
each adult materials has a T, and, there's
Right,
2
trust.
lines on it.
Okay.
And then I had a question about, the Lawrence Carroll
Mm-hmm.
for this and this. We have some ideas for things, but they cost more than that. Like,
Okay.
for example, I'm trying to follow the desires of Quimby.
Yep.
So if we do something like start a home delivery program with a bicycle, that
Mhm.
Concord had started that and Jaffrey had started that. And I have copies of their policies and procedures that they sent me today. But these things to get a bicycle with, a trailer attached to it or a trailer in the front, these are more like $4,000.
Mm.
So my question is, do you want us to try and spend this down in the next 2 weeks, or can we roll it over for a bigger project?
I don't have a problem, this is Janet speaking. I don't have a problem with rolling it over. As of today, there's not much going forward for the Quimby for next year.
Oh, okay.
So there wouldn't be,
The same amount.
correct. So,
Okay, because I'm thinking we could also probably combine.
I was gonna say,
DCU
oh, yep,
Or Passport.
or Passport.
Friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you could, so as it stands right now, there's 1,800 and change in two different trusts, but they
Right.
both go to essentially supporting the library. So with the right information, they could go together.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I still have to do some research on a
Sure.
bunch of things, and I would like to bring you something if it's really different and new,
Sure.
so you can say.
Are you
no.
looking at like a regular bike, or would it be an e-bike? Like,
Concord got the e-bike,
yeah,
which I think makes a lot more sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, but they had it custom made. They worked with a bike shop, and then they worked with a whole different company about the trailer, and I have these very specific specs from Concord, but not a picture of the bike, so I don't know what it really looks like in real life.
Mm.
It's just very detailed drawings that look like they're from overhead, like
Mhm.
an engineer's drawing or something like that.
yeah,
And then for Jaffrey, I have a picture of the bike, so it's easy to, it looks like a bike to me, you know, but I don't think that one is electronic, because I think that would make the most sense for us, you know, and we do have some, you know, Concord, both of these, libraries have any staff who want to make the deliveries that day. There's just a checklist of, here's what you need to check on the bike, and then you take it out, and, I would like to do some more research on it, but I think it would be a great service for us to do.
What kind of deliveries
Home-
are,
Like homebound deliveries. Something we tried to do with, St. Joseph's, or, you know, Meals on Wheels,
Mhm.
and we had a couple of clients, but then that kind of dissolved.
Folded in, yeah.
Yeah, we were dependent on their routes and not able to make our own routes,
Right.
you know, which I think really, I mean, it was a good pilot to try, but I think if we really want to serve our community, then we have to have control over the routes, you know? Okay, so,
Okay. I like
okay, thank you, that helps clear up stuff for me.
great.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see, upcoming events. The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee meeting, as I said, is tentatively scheduled for September 21st. Friends of the Library will be meeting on June 27th at 7 p.m. in the Lowell Room. The Merrimack Public Library Board of Trustees will meet again on July 21st and at 7 p.m. And the Board of Trustees will be having a retreat at some point. Any further comments?
July 21st is a Thursday.
Oh, so that would not be correct. July 19th. So the meeting,
Is it the third Tuesday,
yep,
Yeah.
July 19th?
okay, thank you.
Today is the 21st.
I didn't say reason.
Okay. All right, any further comments from the board? Okay, then I will make a motion that we go into non-public session per RSA 91A32A personnel. Is there a second? Mike seconded, and we'll do a roll call vote. Janet?
Yes.
Okay, I say yes. Mike?
Yes.
And Karen?
Yes.
Okay, we are going into non-public at 8:18.
Who seconded?
Mike.
Oh, Mike.